back with it, folkers. So this is a continuation of a presentation I'm doing in regards to what's going on with this coronavirus situation. Now, right now I'm gonna get into this. The fact that the Trump Department of Justice is seeking to suspend habeas corpus during this so-called COVID-19 emergency, okay? So they're looking to, and habeas corpus is a clause in the is part of a clause in the Constitution that allows for an expedient trial, so you don't sit up in jail for a super long time while they try to prove your guilt, okay? Is innocent until proven guilty, or it's supposed to be, when in reality is really you're guilty until proven innocent. So this is the same thing they did with 9/11, with the Patriot Act, where they can hold suspected terrorists indefinitely. Of course, they were supposed to be foreign suspected terrorists, but they're trying to, and they have extended it to United States citizens who they feel might be a part of some type of terrorist group. Okay, so now this comes. Now I'm getting this from HillReporter.com. Okay, Trump's Justice Department wants to suspend habeas corpus. President Trump's Department of Justice has sent documents to Congress requesting the suspension of the rules for habeas corpus, the right of a person who is arrested and to appear in an expeditious way before a judge to be formally charged. The writ of habeas corpus is sometimes called the Great Writ due to its importance. Without its recognition, a government entity can arrest individuals indefinitely without charges of any kind or the chance to argue for their defense release before the judge or a court of law. The Trump administration made the request due to the current crisis the nation is facing concerning the spread of the coronavirus. Now, tell me how not being able to hold someone in jail indefinitely while they await trial, or to extend their trial date for as long as you want, how is that going to stop the spread of the coronavirus? It doesn't. What it does is it gives the government more power to do whatever the hell they want. Okay, so they can lock somebody up who's under suspicion of a crime. They don't have to be convicted. They don't have to be indicted. Okay, they can just lock their ass up and hold them for as long as they want. That's the power they're seeking. How is that going to help with the coronavirus? And how is letting people get out while their innocence, so that while their suspected guilt is trying to be proved by the district attorney, how is that going to stop someone or stop the government from doing something about the coronavirus? What does this have to do with the coronavirus? It doesn't. They're not letting a good crisis go to waste. And you're talking about the right-wing conservative Republicans doing this right here. Okay? And of course, you got certain publications, certain liberal publications that are going to say, oh, they're coming for your rights. Well, this is the slippery slope we've all been talking about. You give them an inch, they take a mile. That's the slippery slope. You start with background checks for firearms. You start with, you can't yell fire in a movie theater. Okay? You start with, you can't say shooting in an airport. And then you slowly build on that. You slowly build on it. You build on it and build on it. And then next thing you know, we don't have any rights anymore. The Constitution is destroyed. Okay? But our rights will always be here. But we just have to protect them. We have to let them know that we know what they're doing. Don't let this shit slide right here. It's a BS, man. The suspension of the rule is unlikely to be approved by Congress due to the House of Representatives being under control of the Democratic lawmakers. However, it does highlight how Trump administration is seeking a broad authority in the new powers. Now, come on, man, the hypocrisy. All you politicians, all these politicians, all they want to do is seek power. They'll go any way about it. Any way they want to do it, they'll do it. Any tragedy that they can use to take away your rights, they will use it. And they're using the so-called COVID-19 outbreak to do that very thing. Just like Democrats use mass shootings to take our rights away to keep and bear arms. It's all the same shit. These people want nothing more than to seek power and to take our rights away so they can do whatever they want in this world and get away with it without resistance and without rebellion. Don't let these Mickey Fickies get away with this, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. Listen, stop it. Stop it. Stop letting these people get away with this. Oh, here's Justin Amash, Twitter. I don't know who this guy is, Justin Amash. I think he's a political guy, Politico reporter or something. The Justice Department has quietly asked Congress for the ability to ask chief judges to detain people indefinitely without trial during emergencies. And this guy says Congress must loudly reply no. Well, how about we reply no? How about we go up there? How about we tell them no? As the people that they supposedly work for, that they're supposed to serve, how about we tell them no? We don't want this. We want due process. We want habeas corpus to be upheld. We don't want this. We tell them that. We don't need government functionaries to tell us that, to tell somebody else not to take our rights. We need to do that for ourselves. See, the longer we depend on government, the more we're telling them that we do indeed need them in our lives and to control us. Not me, pimpin'. Okay, so that's enough of that right now. I just wanted to bring you guys abreast on that. So now, what I want to get into is more about respiratory infections. Okay, like I was talking about before. More on that right now. Okay, now this article that I'm about to read from is from the World Health Organization. Okay, and this was written back in 2017. Okay, 2017, this article was written. Okay, so it says up to 650,000 people die of respiratory illnesses linked to seasonal flu each year. Okay, up to 650,000 deaths annually are associated with respiratory diseases from seasonal influenza, according to new estimates by the U.S. CDC, the World Health Organization, and global health partners. This marks an increase on the previous global estimate of 250 to 500,000, which dates from over 10 years ago and covered all influenza-related deaths, including cardiovascular disease or diabetes. The new figures of 290 to 650,000 deaths are based on most recent data from a larger, more diverse group of countries, including lower middle income countries, and exclude deaths from non-respiratory diseases. These figures indicate the high burden of influenza and its substantial social and economic cost to the world, said Dr. Peter Salama, Executive Director of World Health Organization's Health Emergency Program. They highlight the importance of influenza prevention for seasonal pandemics or epidemics, as well as preparedness for pandemics. So the prevention he's talking about is not about strengthening your immune system with vitamin C, vitamin D, a good healthy diet, no sugar, zinc, things like that. Go out and get some sun, ground, out in the nature, put your feet to the ground, release some free electrons, sunlight, breathing in fresh air, maybe going to the beach and breathing in some iodine. I don't know. He's talking about vaccines, okay? Now, I did a video back in January, I believe, where the World Health Organization got together for the Vaccine Health Summit. And they said right from their own mouths, they talked about the dangers of vaccines and how they can get people to trust the vaccines even though they're dangerous. Just go back to that video. I think I'll repost it. Okay, so all countries, rich, poor, large, and small, must work together to control influenza outbreaks before the arrival of the next pandemic. It's always about the next pandemic, right? Nearly all deaths among children under 5 with influenza-related lower respiratory tract infections occur in developing countries. So, I mean, respiratory infections that kill people related to influenza, 650,000 a year, probably more than that now. And I already covered how, even though vaccine coverage has increased, deaths from the flu has increased as well. Flu vaccine coverage increased, flu death increased. Okay? I mean, I already showed y'all that. So now, what can we get into? We're going to get into something very interesting here. No, not that. Okay? Now, this article was done in 2018. This is from the CDC. Okay? And the headline reads, Severe Respiratory Illness Outbreak Associated with Human Coronavirus NL63 in Long-Term Healthcare Facility. Okay? And this is the abstract of the article. We describe an outbreak of severe respiratory illness associated with human coronavirus NL63 in a long-term care facility in Louisiana in November 2017. 6 of 20 patients were hospitalized with pneumonia, and 3 of 20 died. Clinicians should consider human coronavirus NL63 for patients in similar settings with respiratory disease. So they're saying this is what you should look out for when people die of respiratory diseases in these nursing homes. They're saying that this thing spreads really, really badly in these places. And who has died mostly from the new coronavirus this year, the COVID-19? The older people in the nursing homes. Many of those types of deaths. All right, so human coronaviruses, and it goes through a list of different ones. I'm not going to name all out. Are frequently associated with upper respiratory tract infection, but can also cause lower respiratory tract infections, such as pneumonia or bronchitis. So there's many of these types of coronaviruses, but no one has ever freaked out for any of these. Now they're freaking out. Because they want to push an agenda, I guess. No one has ever cared about these deaths before. People just went on with their life. No one sensationalized it. Now it's being sensationalized. But for what purpose? I think we all know. A wide range of respiratory viruses are known to circulate in long-term care facilities and contribute to respiratory illness in the residents who live in them. Look at Italy. Okay, a lot of older people there. They're much more vulnerable to getting infections that would do things like this to them. Okay? Now, I'm going to get into some of the symptoms of this NL63, the coronavirus NL63 that they're talking about in this particular nursing home. Okay? The most common symptoms are cough. Oh, no, let's first get into the ages. So 60% were male, just like with the COVID-19. Medium age 62. And that ranges from the age of 66 to 96. The number of cases of respiratory illness peaked in mid-November. The most common symptoms were cough, 95%, chest congestion, 65%, shortness of breath, wheezing, fever, and altered mental status were also reported. Shortness of breath. 16 case patients had abnormal findings on chest radiograph. Pneumonia was noted in 14. What are they noting in most of these cases where the people die? Pneumonia. And already talked about how many people pneumonia kill each year, okay, and including children. But no one freaks out about that. No one tries to take your rights away over that. No, they just, they try to find something. Last year was the measles. What happened with that? What happened with the measles outbreak? I don't know, man. Didn't work out like they wanted. But now they have something a little bit more powerful to use against us. All right. So in all patients had concurrent medical conditions. The most common were heart disease, which was 70%, dementia, which was 65%, hypertension, 40%, diabetes, 35%, and lung disease, 35%. Six case patients required hospitalization. All had chest radiograph confirmed pneumonia. Hospitalized LRTI case patients demonstrated shortness of breath, wheezing, and altered mental status. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? So this is what I'm saying, man. All of a sudden, a disease kills people, kills a certain number of people, and now they care, and now they want to act like they're doing things for your best, doing things like taking your rights away for your own best interest, suspending habeas corpus, all this other shit for your own best interest, when this shit has been killing people for as long as man has been alive. Why all of a sudden y'all care about this? Man, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. One thing I want to point out before I get out of here, maybe I'll do it later. Yeah, I'll do it later, going into viruses. And, well, viruses, they associate with humans and animals, okay? Now, it's all about isolating the virus. To prove the virus is there, I believe it has to be isolated. Now, they have isolated viruses that attack bacteria, single-cell bacteria. They have been able to do that. But they haven't yet been able to do it with a human cell or a human virus or an animal virus. Those pictures they show you are of the actual cell with things attached to it. And there could be anything attached to that cell. It could be anything. It could be receptors. It could be proteins, all this other shit. From my understanding, I'm no doctor, I'm no scientist, but from my understanding, the pictures they're showing you of this ball, right, with these things on it, are actually cells of the animal or the human being that's infected or that has things attached to it, like I said. So, and let's get into the testing of virus. How do they test to know you have a virus? Well, what they have to do is basically add toxic chemicals to the cell, okay? To the cells that gets the cell to react, which brings out certain things, that releases certain markers. So what they're actually looking at is a marker for the so-called virus. They're not looking at the virus itself. They're looking for markers that would indicate that there is a virus there. But how would they know that that marker pertains to that virus if they've never isolated the virus itself due to these, they never saw the virus come out with the marker, you know what I mean? So they're looking at markers. They're looking at markers, just like with a heart attack. When you have a heart attack, your body releases certain chemicals, and that's how they determine whether or not you have a heart attack, for sure. They put you on the ECG or the EKG, and then they take some of your blood, and if your blood has certain things inside of it, that indicates you're having a heart attack. But what's causing the heart attack? It could be any number of things. Just like if, just for example, with HIV, the test they use for HIV is what I was talking about. It basically, they put some chemicals on the cell, or they put, toxic chemicals on the cell that make it react or something like that. And then once they see the markers, then you get a positive. Well, guess what? There are a great number of diseases or things that can make you test positive for HIV, including pregnancy, including lupus. There's a number of things that can give you false positives for HIV. So they don't even have that locked down yet. That's been around. They've been talking about that's been around since the 70s. And they still haven't isolated the HIV virus. They just look for markers. Anyway, so y'all take that the way you will. I will put links in the description per usual, and you guys can check this stuff out for yourself. Don't take my word for this stuff. Go do the research yourself. Do the research yourself. Matter of fact, I think I can show you guys what the virus looks like that attacks, an actual picture of a virus that will attack a bacteria, a single cell organism. Okay, now this is a real picture. See? But this is not the virus. Damn it, that glare. All right, hold on, y'all. Y'all see that? This is not the virus that would attack a human cell. This is a virus that attacks a bacteria. See what I'm saying? You know how with the COVID-19 it's a picture of a ball with things pointing out? Well, the virus isn't the whole ball, right? The virus isn't the whole ball with the things pointing out. The virus is the actual, these little things right here, these things protruding from the bacteria cell, right? The single-celled organism. Those are the viruses. Those, not this. This is the thing that's being attacked by it. Okay? This is the thing that's being attacked by these. So when they show you the coronavirus cell, it kind of looks like this. But guess what? They haven't been able to do this. They haven't been able to get a picture like that from that cell of those little things that's protruding from it. Okay? And like I said, any number of things could be coming off that cell. Receptors to take things in, proteins to attach things to other things, and all that stuff. So unless they can show you this and say, look, this is the COVID-19 virus. This is COVID-19 right here. Unless they can do that, I mean, grain of salt, my friends. Grain of salt. That's a bacteria. That's not a cell. Now, real quick, I'm going to show you guys what the CDC is going to show you, right? See that? This is not from the CDC. I'll show you that next. But this is what you see, right? This is a cell. This is the cell. And these little things on the outside would be the virus. But this is as good as it's gonna get. This is as good as it's gonna get. They're not gonna get any better than this with the imaging. So they don't know what these things are. Like I said, they could be any number of things that are attached to the cell, that are part of the cell. And it could be that once a cell becomes so damaged, these little buggers right here, that could be the virus, are part of the cleanup crew that finishes off the rest of the cell and cleans up house when the cell's being affected by other factors that are causing harm to it. Like I said, I'm not a scientist. These are things I've researched and looked into myself. But I'm not a doctor. I can't even pretend to understand the full depth of this. But that's as good as they're gonna get. They as you can see, this is the cell of the human or the animal, and these things right here are what's attached to it. They haven't gotten close enough. They haven't been able to separate these things from the cell and get it by itself and see what it does. They haven't been able to get live imaging to see what the cell does or see what the virus does to the cell. They just see these things here and they say, oh, okay, that must be a dangerous virus. That's where they're getting that information from. That's what they know. And this would not be, yeah. Electron micrograph, one of the most powerful. Now this is the SARS. That's from the SARS, okay? Electron micrograph, one of the most powerful, little scopes in the world. As good as it's gonna get. Now, yeah, I'm going too long. Show you one more image. Damn it. And this is what they show you. This is what the CDC shows you. This is what they tell you that the COVID-19 is. But this obviously is a CGI picture, right? Why are they showing you fake ass pictures if they know what this is? If they know that this virus is what it is, why are they showing you fake ass pictures? Why aren't they showing you some real shit? Why aren't they showing you real images of this thing? If anybody can find a real image of the COVID-19, not the SARS like what I just showed you, COVID-19, put it in the comment section so that we can look further into this. CDC, that's COVID-19. A perfect round ball with red things coming out of it that are supposed, and this whole thing is supposed to be a virus. This whole thing. Man, get the fuck out of here. Anyway, I got some more information on this type of stuff that I'll get to you guys later. Right now, I'm gonna call it short. I'm starting to try to keep my videos a little shorter. This one a little longer than I wanted to. So anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Okay? Anyway, holla at y'all later. And I'll probably get at y'all tomorrow. Much love to you. Peace out.